The demand to move to digital just keeps growing. The sixth edition of the Showbiz Entertainment Africa Conference starts today with a special focus on going digital and how entertainers can create digital audiences. The theme for this year's conference is digital online development. To tell us more about this, we are joined by SEAFRICA Chairperson Peter Sibeko and one of the panelists and speakers of the conference, media personality Relebogile Mabotja. Very good morning to you both. Relebogile, you're there. Can you hear me? If you can you talk to us through, I know you're one of the speakers this evening. Walk us through what your talk is about without giving too much information, I suppose.
There you go, yeah. So my talk is really going to be about the fact that I was able to take a television show and put it online, and that it's really gotten a life of its own. So how to put a TV show online. So there's a lot that's happening in the digital space, and that's the conversation that I'm going to be having.
Now walk us through that, because I know one of the things that stops a lot of people from doing stuff is fear of the unknown. What are some of the challenges, and what has that journey been like?
To be honest with you, when I started walking the journey of this talk show, the thing that worked in my favor is the fact that I had nothing to lose. I had just come from presenting on a music radio station, and I was missing doing talk. And I figured, instead of just doing a podcast, I'm a visual person, why don't we shoot it? And I really banked on the relationships that I had into coming to do me favors. So during lockdown, we were able to put together a whole TV show. And because we had the intention of just putting it online on YouTube, there was no plan for us to sell it. But then, an outside person said, I would love to try and sell this for you. The fact that the entire time we had nothing to lose, everybody came in saying, we're bringing our time, we're bringing our gear to bring this thing to life. We just want people to hear people's stories and it be online, gave us the advantage. So when it came time to go online, a broadcaster came and said, we would love to have you, and we were able to negotiate it in such a way that the show can have its own life online, but also live on a TV platform.
Now, before we go to Peter, I think he's finally been able to join us. I quite like the idea of the synergies that you're talking about, the attitude of I have nothing to lose. How integral were those relationships in piecing together the various aspects of this production?
Absolutely integral. One of the things that I always say to people is start with what you have. So if you have nothing, as in you don't have money, you don't have funding, you sometimes need to open yourself up to realize, but I have relationships. And people that I work with and have long-standing professional relationships were willing to come through. There's a person who was willing to come through with a camera, a person willing to come through with their sound gear. There was a person who's an art director that was willing to come into my house and look at the different pieces I have and create a set. So the way the show was born was almost of passion. Nobody came here with the intention of we're making money. We're just like, we're all doing nothing, and we're all going to create a show that we want people to watch. It was just fortunate that we weren't sitting with this pressure of somebody needs to pick this up. We had nothing to lose, if I can go back to that. But this process has been very enlightening, because the show has a whole life of its own, and one would have never thought that it started in my lounge with a group of people that came together with nothing.
Peter, thanks for joining us. One of the things that we said was that the demand to move to digital is continually growing. Now, let's talk about the need to innovate, particularly now where many people aren't able to reach audiences physically and are having to use digital platforms.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. There is obviously, it goes without saying that there is a need to innovate. So industry leaders, down to the person that is into the space, needs to understand that you need to understand the environment and how to take advantage of that. And especially those that have been in the industry for a while, they need to sort of escalate their game to a point where they embracing digital, because there's so many shifts that have taken place over not only over the last couple of years. I think digital migration has been the talk of the town, so to say, for a while now. But due to COVID-19, that has kind of like fast-tracked that need to grasp and to embrace digital to a degree such that it works for you to your advantage, much like the way Relebogile has explained his story, which is remarkable, of course. So you know, we need at this point arts practitioners, arts leaders, entertainment creators, producers to innovate and see how that space, the space of digital, can work for them.
Now, talk to us about synergies. This conference is obviously in its 6th year. What are the synergies that you have with other African countries and members of the industry in those sectors?
Yeah, it's great that you asked that, because what we did in 2019 is launched for the first time the project or the event going outside of the borders of South Africa in Botswana. So we have SEAFRICA BW, which was launched in 2019. We know that COVID-19 had an impact and how that impact was for the industries and people that organize events such as ourselves in 2020. So we didn't have it in 2020 as SEAFRICA BW or SEAFRICA, the one that we host in South Africa. And therefore, this year, what we've done is we're hosting the two, SEAFRICA BW and SEAFRICA SA, live in Johannesburg right now as we speak downstairs. The program is running with a host from Botswana. So we've got participants from Botswana, not only as the MC, but there's a participant who's going to be speaking too. In fact, it's a session that Relebogile will be facilitating later on in the day. But we've managed, and also this goes back to what we're talking about with regards to digital and digital audience development, or to what I said in terms of having the need or taking advantage of digital, right? We've managed to beyond. We've got speakers from the US as well as from the UK, and that's because obviously digital allows us to do that. But we've got a live audience that's here in Johannesburg, and obviously online audiences in South Africa, in Botswana, as well as in the countries that I've just mentioned.
Now, one of the topics that you will talk about is one that particularly interests me, and that's mastering the art of algorithms. And it is all about algorithms. If you don't get those right, then nobody's watching your show. Peter?
100%. I'm definitely not one. I don't know if we got cut there, but I'm definitely not one to even speak to that, because and that's the reason we have it on the program, is because what is algorithm? For somebody that uses their mobile phone or their laptop to connect to social media, and not only social media, but to, different online properties or online platforms. Algorithms is kind of like the settings that are used on these platforms that you need to understand, right? So we've got somebody that then will be speaking to that, because they've taken advantage of it since last year, and they're going to be talking about other different type of platforms that you can utilize. But it's all about understanding what it is, which is what you're going to get if you come to SEAFRICA, what algorithms is, and how you can take advantage of it once you get your product or your service online.
Relebogile, very quickly, for those that want to engage, tune in, or watch, or attend this online, how do they do that?
Okay, so the simple way is just going onto your device and logging on to seafricasa.co.za, and that is spelled seafricasa.co.za, seafricasa.co.za. And for people that are in Botswana, because I would imagine there are viewers from that side, you can access it through seafricabw.com. That's seafricabw.com, and when you get on there, you will be able to register and immediately get emailed your login details, and it's free, by the way. So as we speak right now, you can just get on your phone or on your laptop and log on to the website address, and you'll get a link there on the homepage that will lead you to where you quickly register and wait for the email which is instant really, and then be able to join in and experience just some of the the great lineups that we have. I mean, we have
SEAFRICA Chairperson Peter Sibeko. I want to have to thank you so much for your participation. Relebogile Mabotja, thank you so much, and wish you all the best with the event during the course of today.